the best camera operators I see in entertainment, Easter, Dave Levinson, Brian Reeson, the list goes on. But the guys I know that are literally the best of the best in my eyes, they barely have to try because they're so good, and it's just second nature. Like, I see some guys and they're so over the top and they're running around and they don't tell their utility that they're about to take off. And
it's easy to be a good camera operator. It's really, really hard to be a great or an expert. This is where we celebrate the unsung heroes, the champions behind the screens who make the magic happen. Every other week, we kick back, grab a beer, and sit down with some of the most distinguished professionals in the industry, giving you a new appreciation for the media you enjoy. This is the Behind the Broadcast podcast. What is up, BTB crew and broadcast enthusiasts? Thank you for tuning into the Behind the Broadcast podcast. My voice is a little bit hoarse today. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but it's not going to stop us from doing this pod. My name is Parker, and I'm a broadcast professional and the creator of Behind the Broadcast. While I know a lot about the broadcast industry, I'm no expert, and now we're diving deeper by interviewing experts in their respective areas of the industry. But before we get into things, I want to thank our sponsors. All of the graphics you see are provided by VizRT. VizRT, take your production to the next level with the right tools. And thank you, TVU. TVU, elevate every stage of your media supply chain. Last but not least, Garage Beer. It's beer, flavored beer. All right, without further ado, he's 33. He's based in Los Angeles, California. He's worked in television for 11 years. He has 1 daytime Emmy and 3 creative Emmys. He's a rostered camera utility and video engineer, as well as a business owner. He's been a part of just about every big award show and every red carpet Hollywood has to offer. Fittingly, his name is Zak Holley, or as I like to say, Zak Hollywood. What's up, Zak? Welcome to the show.
how are you, buddy?
Hey.
Parker?
I'm so glad you made it, dude. It's been a crazy road, just making this happen, and I know you are super busy, dude. I really appreciate you making the time. Because we're going to talk about a lot of really good things.
We've been wanting to make this happen. Like, me and Parker have been going back and forth for years, and I've just watched what he's built, grown, and one, congratulations to what you've built. It's awesome. It's very organic, what you have in your audience. I just think it's so natural, and it's fitting to our industry, and there's nothing that there is close to what you have that shows what we do.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate the props. First, before we get into this, grab a Garage Beer.
Oh yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Beer flavored beer. That is Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce's beer company, who have been graciously sponsoring the show. So
let's try it. First time Garage Beer. Thank you.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's kind of like a lighter beer, kind of like a Coors Light or something, but it's really good. It's really good, and it's making its way around the country. So keep that open. We'll keep that open for the light. We'll highlight the Garage Beer. Cheers.
Yeah, like I said, major props to what you've been able to build. I love seeing people enthusiastic about what we do, and like passionate about going to work. What we do should be fun. What we do as a career, is we get to travel, we get to see things, we get to go to the best concerts and see the best acts and the best sporting events. And, it's cool the way that you show it off. Yeah, and that's the whole idea of the platform, and now other people can see what we're seeing. So I appreciate that. Let's just get like a little bit into it now, though. I've heard the name Zak Holley a bunch. I lived in LA for about 10 years. And then your name really didn't start coming up until COVID, when I met this guy named Tony Prugel. Interesting cat, but he kind of tied me in with you. What were you doing during COVID? How did you know Tony, and then how did it get back to me? I met Tony on a few different shows, and basically my background with utility and video engineering, I set up monitors, so I deal with the broadcast trucks, delivering the feeds to the endpoint as a monitor. Everyone on the show has a different monitor. I don't care what position you have to see something. Yeah, right. So I got to meet everyone. Really, somewhere down the line on the show, they needed to see something. During COVID, one of my mentors, John Ficus, shout out John Ficus, Pacifico Broadcasting, he helped come up with he basically came up and engineered a solution to do live remote video and control PTZs and iPhones, cutting it live, switching it live, and delivering it to the network live on a weekly basis during a stay-at-home order when we were watching reruns of sports
Right. During COVID.
during
The
COVID.
height of COVID.
So we went to our shop and we built all these kits and we sent out all these kits and we built fly packs in the shop and we had fiber lines ran and we did IP transmission and we controlled robo cameras all across the country and iPhones all across the country from Burbank, California.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot. He taught me a lot and he saw a huge opening and was like, Zach, look, you build every kit.
Uh-huh.
You dealt with every person. You dealt with every knock. At the time, we were using a company, Nextologies, to do the transmission and the data delivery and the video, moving all the video.
Yeah.
He was pretty much, he set me up and he was like, look, you should go after this. This is something you're good at. And you did all this. And from there, I kind of ran with it after COVID. And during COVID, there wasn't much content. So I made a huge dent in the entertainment side of people who wanted to get shows on, people who wanted to bring remote talent from their houses back to a show, cut into a show.
Yeah.
Then once things started to ramp up and shows were rolling again, there was a lot of people who couldn't be on set. So I had all kinds of ways for people to be at home and watch multiple feeds, that multi-viewers have routers working from their houses back to a stage that they're 200 maybe another state away from, who knows.
Right.
And making PLs, all kinds of stuff. We worked with a guy, Juan Gallardo, and a few different people. And we really came up with a solution to make it to where you could call a show, operate a show, control a PTZ camera, do what you need to do from anywhere.
Yeah. And like you said, that was during COVID, and that was huge because that was kind of before like Zoom had totally built out their whole broadcast part of their industry or their company, and other companies, emerged out of that. But so you guys were really like leading edge on that. And then and then Tony came out of that because I guess he was like a podcast dude, and he started following behind the broadcast, reached out to me, talked to me about you, talked super highly about you. And then, you and I just connected. And then, 2 years later, here we are talking on the Behind the Broadcast podcast. So
we've been talking about this for a long time.
We have. So I think that's so cool. All right, man. So let's briefly just like talk about some of the big projects you've done lately. And then let's talk about where it all started.
I'd say over the last year, like some of the cool things I could be proud of doing is I have a huge partnership with Bitfire. We do a ton of the offerings that we can offer with IP and with...
Yeah, real quick, just say what Bitfire is.
Bitfire Networks is basically they're an IP data transport, full-fledged virtual cloud-based truck.
Okay. All right.
Right? So between moving feeds, moving data... Tell us how you want to do a show. We have ways to do shows. Like just 2 days ago, I was doing tests for, it's NFL related, and it was a test for something. I don't want to say what.
Yeah.
And the client, but I mean, we were doing live EVSs on links for a director that couldn't be around, that wanted to go back and replay stuff.
Sure.
So I mean, we're doing cloud-based switching, cloud-based recording, but that's not even my. I really am. I look at data transport. Where do you want to move video?
Yeah.
And then, how do you want to do it?
Yeah, like you just did the election stuff. That's huge. Election,
yeah,
man.
we were doing the Camilla watch party. That
yeah, what happened to that watch party?
shout out my man Colin DeFord, one of my favorite tech managers in the business.
Oh, you work with Colin?
Fat Brain,
what?
one of my favorite person to work for.
Dude,
he's a great guy.
Colin, really side note, Colin lives in Park City. I'm from Park City, Utah.
Small world.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the same Colin. We did
It's the same Colin.
the All-Star we did the MLB NBA All-Star show together, the entertainment show.
He got me this year. He hooked me up. It was one of my first giant tech managing jobs for like something not in my world. I never work in sports. I primarily work in entertainment.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, I got this job for you. I want you to be you're going to be the tech manager for the entertainment side of the 3-point contest and the dunk contest."
Yeah, that's like exactly the show I've
He
worked.
is the man. Shout out Colin.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so now let's start from the very beginning. How did you get into TV? How did you get into the unions? How did it all start?
I could forever thank and only be grateful I have the best mentor. And I have the best group of guys that have helped me out. Sean Woodside and the Apache Rental Group family I started with them when I was a kid, loading trucks, literally cleaning gear and delivering TVs to shows and meeting people.
Yeah.
And Sean taught me everything I knew. He taught me how video conversion works. He taught me how utility works.
Yeah.
And once he saw I was serious and I was committed, he helped get me in the union. Um, some of the first, or once I was getting in the union, before I was in the union, he'd hooked me up with Angel Vasquez.
Uh-huh.
Angel,
Great name, big name
if you do
in the
boxing,
LA.
if you ever work a show in Vegas, you know who Angel is. Shout out Angel. I love you like a brother. Like he's treated me like family since the day I've met him.
Yeah. And let me just pause and hit on something you just said real quick. Uh, it's a very common theme that I'm seeing on this show. It all starts with mentorship and having someone that kind of bring you in and but you have to show them you want it, and then they will help you get to where you.
100%. It wasn't handed to me. None of this was handed to me. I put in years and years at a rental house working for Sean and working for Apache, and and I did as best as I could and met as many people as I could, and I tried to always leave a nice impression and always, hey, when Apache comes and we do monitors, we do the best job.
Yeah.
And look, we do the Oscars, we do the Grammys, we do the biggest shows because we have a reputation of just doing a nice job and doing it right, and it's our expectations are high.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, I don't think we were Apache, but I worked for Bexel, so I can understand that. And that was my first job. Like you said, if you really want to get in the industry, you want to get your hands dirty, get in a rental house.
If you want to learn the gear, anyone that asks me like, how do you do what you do, or do I go to film school, or like, if you want to shoot cinema or music videos or commercials, film school is probably where you want to go. For what we do in live broadcast and live multi-camera, the best place you could start is a rental house or a broadcast company as a truck company, NEP, Game Creek,
Right.
All Mobile, a
Yeah.
fly pack company. I mean, that's where you're really going to learn the equipment, how a show is built, how it's built in the shop and prepped, to how it's delivered to a show and set up and torn apart and struck and packed back home and ready to go do another show.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I'm sorry I sidetracked you. So, you were talking a little about just, working in the rental houses, working as a utility. So kind of go back into that.
Yeah, so Sean got me pretty much introduced me to everyone I knew, because when you're delivering monitors for a company that's doing all these shows in Hollywood, I'm meeting different tech managers, I'm meeting different head utilities, I'm meeting different people in town. So I'd be delivering monitors, and once people realized I wanted to start doing utility, I'd done the boxing with Angel and Joe Sexy and all those guys. Once I got my foot in the door and got in the union, I was doing talk shows. I did a show called The Doctors. The Doctors got me in the local 600. That's the Cinematographers Guild. So once that started, the door was open. Now I'm helping out doing monitors and doing utility and building cameras on. At the time, there was more work. There was more talk shows in town.
Oh yeah, okay. So you're kind of getting to my next question.
There was more ways as a young guy that like just got in to just fill in. There was more shows then. There was more studio jobs. You go to the studios right now, there's a lot of empty stages.
Yeah, I've
that's a
heard
whole
that.
nother story. But in the entertainment side, so I was filling in. I would show up here. I wasn't a full-time guy and did the whole run of, say, Dancing with the Stars every week. But hey, if something happened or someone was sick or they added a guy, my name would get called on the fill-in list.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of just worked my way up, and people knew that, like, hey, you could send me out of town and he could go take care of it.
That's
And-
exactly how it works.
And so once I kind of showed that like I cared, I give it my all. I wanted to do a good job. The tech managers trust me, and then now I'm working for Apache. I'm in the loop of shows before we get to the shows, because we're building the shows and quoting the shows and dealing with how the shows are going to be built before we get on site.
Yeah.
So you're kind of in the loop with production, dealing with the other side of it.
Uh-huh.
So once that kind of all came about, then boom, COVID. Now we're at a standstill.
Yeah.
So we had kind of time on our hands, and we did a little bit of the podcast. We did this loadout podcast where we interviewed, like, I think we did 70 episodes, and every episode was people that we worked with, from stage managers to directors to camera operators. Everyone we knew, we tried to call and do Me, Matt Cleveland, Sean Woodside, Johnny Lord. We made this little podcast in our stage in
That's
Burbank,
that's super cool.
and we got everyone involved, and it was all via Zoom, and it was so early on. People are still learning Zoom, and we were using it to bring remote talent in.
Yeah.
And then from there, I did the American Idol stuff. Right after American Idol, we did this thing with SpaceX, where it was the same formula we did with Idol, but for SpaceX, and we ended up winning daytime Emmys with that. Where I'm
Wow.
sending Panasonic PTZ robo cameras to astronauts' houses
Wow.
with encoders, and I have a controller here in a fly pack, and we're controlling it on the other side of the country. And I just FaceTime the astronaut and showed him how to set up from his router to from his internet to this encoder to, all right, buddy, I got control. You see my return video? You see our feed? All right, great, let's go.
Wow.
So I mean, from there, it's just boom.
That's so cool. So, um, man, you're doing so many cool things, and it's very impressive, and your knowledge of and experiences top notch. What do you call your title? What are you? Who are you? Who is Zak Holley? What is Zak Holley?
You know what? First and foremost, like I will say this: I am a camera utility.
I love
Now,
that.
dude,
I love that,
now,
and you own it.
and I own it because you know something. I don't want to be a camera operator. I enjoy the fact of I'll make your camera work.
Yes.
You could pan till zoom focus. Watch. I'll make it work, and I can get it to work 1,000 feet away.
Yeah.
Right. Similar to what you do.
Yeah.
And I think the camera utility role has really changed, and it's truly a video engineering role because there's so much on our plate now. We're doing all the fiber distribution. We're doing all the conversions. If there's embeds or de-embeds, if there's router data, I mean, I'd say
The list goes on, man.
yeah, it's an engineering job now. But and then the union classifies us as camera assistants.
Yeah, camera assistants, and there's places in companies that are starting to like understand what we do now and starting to like reward us with pay and things like that, and not reward. What's the word I'm looking for? Is like acknowledge. They're starting to acknowledge what we do and reward us in better ways. But yeah, in a lot of ways, we're looked at as just like still guys that can run a triax. You know what I mean? And we're doing way more than that. You know, we're checking levels, we're distributing feeds, we're, converting fiber into copper, we're setting up monitors. We're doing all these different things.
I think the people that look at camera utility as a career, not a stepping stone,
Yeah.
they find it offensive when they're called a wrangler.
Yeah.
I truly think that because it's like, wait a second, we were here already building your camera, testing your camera, getting all the cable here, making sure it worked,
Yeah.
and now we're just assumed as the guy that can coil.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you kind of saw what I saw when I started getting in the industry, because maybe you were like me, but when I got in, I wanted to be a camera operator, not cameraman, camera operator. And then I kind of just slowly saw like, wow, maybe I don't want to be that, because it's kind of mundane. You're sitting on a camera the whole time, or you're just kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like just like focused, or like you're just doing one thing, and where there's not much troubleshooting. It's not much different. There's not much variety.
Camera operators make it look so easy because they don't try. The best camera operators I see in entertainment, Easter, Dave Levinson, Brian Reeson, the list goes on. But the guys I know that are literally the best of the best in my eyes, they barely have to try because they're so good, and it's just second nature. I see some guys and they're so over the top, and they're running around, and they don't tell their utility that they're about to take off. And
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, because it is a very highly skilled.
Absolutely.
I tell people like this: it's easy to be a good camera operator. It's really, really hard to be a great or an expert camera.
So like I look at it the same way. Like I knew immediately I never wanted to operate the cameras. I like setting up hard stuff. I like seeing as much as I'm seeing it more. I like seeing these interesting, ridiculously built cinema cameras with multi-dynes on them, because it just goes to show you still need us to integrate this camera to do a live show.
Yeah.
And for what we do, that's where I think it's cool. I think that the technology is changing. I like seeing how with the new Sony, the new 5500s, how hey, I don't need a multi-9 now, and broadcast can do this too.
Yep.
I like seeing like the Panasonic 160s, like how they can do that same cinema
Same
look
look, right?
with a PTZ camera.
No, the PTZ cameras, like the capabilities and the simplicity of them are just getting. It's amazing what they can do and how simple they are nowadays.
But I go back to, it takes one of us to set one of those up, and if you're doing a show with multiple cameras and a lot of data, it's the utility job's overlooked as to it, that we're engineers now. Now we're talking about media converters and converting Cat5 to fiber
Yeah.
to camera control and send it back to a truck 1,000 feet away.
Right, yeah, going through a switch, IP networking.
Yeah, so
things
it's like I really enjoy that part of the puzzle. I like going to work and it's like, all right, you want me to make this work? All right, let's do it.
yeah. No,
That's what I like. I like the challenge.
I love the challenge. I love troubleshooting. I love having a new obstacle to work with every week.
I love when I go to a show and I see it set up clean. All the cables all strain relief nice. All the labels are like all in the
talk
same
dirty to me.
spot. All, I love going to a truck IO and seeing how nice it is, and like I really appreciate someone that could patch a nice truck. I really appreciate someone that could make a nice butt farm. Like fiber guys that can really set up fiber correctly, and like they're not just leaving the caps dragging it at the strike. Like,
Yeah, like dude, some of these video guys, a lot of these like all mobile video guys, some of these top NEP guys on the best shows, top Game Freak guys, like on the Amazon show, or their IOs are immaculate.
and you gotta appreciate it's art.
Shout out to TC, Tom Carroll. It's art. And Brent Boyens on the Monday Night Show. It's art. Like, I love walking by and looking at that, and I'm like, that is impressive. It's like it's modern art. It's like it's awesome.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people don't see that side of a show,
Yeah, totally.
and that's what's cool.
Totally.
And you show that off with your whole channel. You show off from the inside of the truck to the engineering side to all the camera technology, and then not only is it that, it's global. I'm seeing you do this too. I'm seeing work being done with equipment being done all over the world, and it's just cool to see how TV's being done in other places. Like I really appreciate that about what you've built.
Nah, thank you, man. So, you've really gotten into the fly pack business. Tell me, or tell the viewers what a fly pack is. People might think, oh, fly pack, like, does it fly around? Like, what is a fly pack?
So like I'll be honest. I've with Holley, I own Holley Video Consultation. My bread and butter has been live streaming, live transmission, live remotes. If you need to bring a remote in from offsite, and then basically I've moved towards building rack-based switchers with record decks, and we could tie in audio, and we could have video control, and basically they're just mobile little video distro systems. But
And there'll be a whole segment where we go in and talk about Holley Video. But yeah, that's a good example of like kind of what a fly pack is, because
my market on those, it's like I think a fly pack's cool for smaller things where you can't get away with all, like, am I trying to do like the biggest, craziest shows with my fly pack? Absolutely not. Yeah. But like, is it cool to be able to say like, dude, let's do like a sick little 10 camera show, and we can get any Sony camera with chain in the CCUs and the RCPs, bring in the SMPTE, bring in the guys, and let's do it. And we could pretty much get it up and running in a couple hours.
Yeah, no, totally. Garage beer, it's good.
I like it. Yes. Shout out Garage Beer. I like this.
Not bad, huh?
No, it's absolutely not bad. It's good.
All right. Here's a pretty good question, because you kind of talked about the uprising of your career. Was there a moment in your career or a show you worked that was like a springboard to like maybe you meeting the right people, or where you did something where you impressed someone, or maybe it was a couple shows, or maybe it was a run of shows?
So many opportunities, and I have been given so much trust, and I've been taught so much that like some of the stuff, if I were to tell a stranger the stuff I've done and the people I've been to, and like just in COVID, the houses I've went to go set up remotes for talent, it sounds fake. Like like there was points I'm going to like Kevin Hart's house and like R.I.P. Quincy Jones just died a couple weeks ago. I was going to Quincy Jones' house like in Bel Air thinking like, what is this? This is insane.
That's
Like
crazy.
all these people. And during COVID, like I had the opportunity to see all kinds of stuff. And then granted, just same with you, the athletes you see doing utility,
Yeah.
the award shows we go to, we're shooting the biggest movie stars when we're just following our camera guy, making sure he doesn't fall and our cable's good.
Yeah.
To, I mean, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
What we get to do for work, we see cool stuff.
Well, you said one very key word, and it was opportunity. And I want to hit on that because you took those opportunities and you embraced those opportunities and you made the most out of those opportunities. I think that's what's really important in our industry is the opportunities aren't going to come every day, but when they do come, make it happen. Don't shy away from opportunity, because if you shy away from opportunity, you're never going to get to those next places.
Never. There's no dumb question when we get to work. The dumb question is not asking it, I swear. You want to know how something works? Ask. If there's something like, hey, what's that guy do? What's his job? Why do they pay him to do that? Why do I see that guy on every show? What's he do? Like, that's kind of always been what's helped me. I got to know everyone to where like it makes sense. Like I can go to a show and I understand what everyone's purpose is there.
Yeah.
I know every person, like, and I can shake their hand and I know what he does. I know what she does. And it's cool to see it all come together. So it's like, as far as opportunity, the biggest opportunity you give to yourself, just keep asking. And like, if there's always someone smarter than me or you.
Yeah.
Always. And there's going to be someone, and there's going to be a time you don't know how to do something. And I was just having problems taking a viewfinder off a sled the other day that like I've taken them off a million times, and I had to ask Dustin Stevens, thank you.
Yeah, it happens, man. It definitely happens. You're never perfect, right?
There's always room for improvement as in work and in life everywhere.
No, totally. Totally. So, what are your goals? Do you have goals for 5 years, 10 years, maybe with Holley Video, or, just where you want to take your business and take your career to? I feel like you're already at the top.
And I hate to be like that, because you never want to think that you've like plateaued, and I don't ever want to make my head get big, because to me, I don't feel any different than you.
Yeah.
I'm a regular person. I'm someone's son. I'm at the end of the day, I'm 33 years old.
Right.
I go to work every day still.
Yeah, same.
Like, where do I see myself? Like I'd like to head more shows. Ultimately, I'd probably like to end up as a tech manager.
Yeah.
As far as Holley Video, like my career wise, I'd probably like to end up as a tech manager.
Yeah, tech manager. I can definitely see you becoming a consultant.
I think like the tech manager side of that for me, it's if I look at it as my whole career, this has been training to be a tech manager, because I started in the rental industry from a vendor side.
Yeah.
So I have a relationship with all the vendors, and I have a relationship with the tech managers, and I understand the paperwork, and I understand the need for the planning and having that relationship with production prior to getting to the show. So I down the line, I think like if I didn't do utility, maybe 10 years from now, I'd probably want to be a tech manager. But as far as Holley Video, like, I'm interested in the technology. I'll still probably always buy stuff just because I think it's fun to tinker with and do, and I like to like figure it out. But like, I see IP transmission is probably been my next big thing that has been taken off. I'll maybe build one or two more fly packs, but it's all based on demand. It's all client driven. Am I chasing anything? Am I trying to go after stuff? No, but am I interested in new technology? Am I interested in what we do? Am I interested in simplifying how we can do our job? Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. I think it's all about demand. It's all about what the client wants, and it's all about developing and adapting to the new technology.
And you don't ever want to put yourself in a box. And at the end of the day, and I'm proud to say this, most people, when they see me at work, they know me as the monitor guy.
Yeah.
I set up all the monitors. If you got a TV, shout out Sean Woodside. Like he taught me how to be the monitor guy and how to go look at a situation. I know what that director wants, because this is what he's going to want. He wants this multi-view here. He wants his router there. He wants his program here. He wants these sizes. He wants them lowered there. Like, I'm proud to say, like, I could be the monitor guy forever. I love that job.
Yeah. Yeah, no, good point. Good point. Um, so man, I've just through meeting you on Holley Video, I now follow Zak Holley on Instagram, and I love just following your personal life, man. You've got a great personal brand. Um, real quick, you just bought a house. You're
Got a baby coming.
expecting.
Yep, got a baby girl coming first week of June.
That's super excited, and you're a major car guy, which I love. I think that's super cool. I really want to dive more into cars once I get some more time on my hands, which it'll come eventually.
The best thing that's people have told me, and I can't reiterate it to myself, and we all have the hard time doing it. It's hard to say no to work. We the moment you say to no to a job, you get replaced. They don't call you that next time. They call the guy who did it last. But the balance of work and family and your own personal life, and it's not worth working all year long if you can't enjoy it. Take the vacation, say no sometimes, spend time with your family, don't miss every holiday.
Yeah.
Like this year I turned down a show on Christmas. Like most years I probably would have never done it.
Totally.
But my girl's pregnant. I'll be there for her on Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome. That is such good advice, man. I'm clipping that out. That is so good. And so talk a little about your car collection real quick.
Ooh. Well, we just built I had Galpin Auto Sports build me a custom supercharged F-150.
Oh, I heard it outside. I heard him coming up the street. I mean, that thing is bad.
But I like Chevy, so I got a 68 El Camino that we finished a little bit ago, and then I have a 62 C10, the big block Holley sniper system, no relation, but it's got the fuel injection, and then yeah, like when I'm not working, I enjoy spending time with my family, spend time with the dogs. I love Frenchies and bulldogs, and I love going to car shows.
That's another thing.
That's what I do. I do car shows and dog stuff.
Dude, that's another thing that I love about your personal brand, because you're always posting about Frenchies, and if you don't know a French bulldog, they're like the most fun little personality dogs ever. My dad has one. His name is Junior, and dude, they are just the best little dog.
They're fun, and you gotta have hobbies. You gotta have things you like, and like things that make you excited, things you love.
Totally, that's awesome. All right, so that kind of wraps up like our kind of one-on-one talking about careers and things like that. Now we're going to have a couple of new segments. We'll play a couple games. I'll ask you a couple questions and things like that. So the first one is called, what is it called? It's called Broadcast and Brews. So this is a game. You're going to grab a fresh garage beer.
All right.
Yeah, I'll kill mine too.
Cleveland might need one. Shout out Cleveland. He's engineering this with us today.
Shout out Cleveland. He set up the lights, because we are in my hotel room right now in Los Angeles.
What were you working on? Who played last night?
Oh, God, who played last night? See, that's one of the best questions, because I don't usually give a damn
That's
who
like
plays.
when they say, who won this award?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I was there. I know the show was up. I know there were no issues.
That's exactly how I do. When they're like, oh, did you see blah, blah, blah on stage get the award? I'm like, no.
Oh, dude, it's the most common question by my mom. She'll call me, oh, my God, did you see that play? I'm like, no, I probably had my head down because I'm just waiting for the game to end. But we're in LA. It was Chargers, Ravens. It was exciting. It was a good game.
You know what? Like a interesting cross hybrid where my entertainment world meets your sports world.
Okay, yeah, what?
Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, the halftime show is just as big as the game.
Okay, so like I work with the guys that do the halftime show. I've never worked a halftime show. It's on my bucket list of shows. There's a bucket list of shows we can go over that I want to do that I've done.
Yeah.
Super Bowl halftime is one eventually. But where it meets your world, you guys have how many cameras on Super Bowl?
Oh, over 100.
How many trucks are in your Super Bowl compound?
Over, with international and things like that, 30 plus trucks probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you bring the halftime show in.
Yeah.
They roll that whole show in.
Yeah.
It's whole different truck compound, whole different trucks, whole different crew, whole different people.
Yeah.
Set it up, do the halftime show. It's the most watched thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then rip it out and the game's back going.
Yeah. It's
So like to
insane.
see like that entertainment side and the sports side, and how that cross mingles on the same broadcast that we're all watching.
Yeah.
And how many different trucks and how many different people and entities and vendors and cameras and different directors and
Right. Well, so you
I mean, that's, to me, I think that's where it's like, it's cool to see both worlds mix
Combine,
to
yeah.
combine one final product.
and it doesn't happen very often. You actually mentioned earlier that you worked with Colin and you did NBA. I used to do that show, and that's the only entertainment show I've ever done. And I saw the difference between entertainment and sports, and there are a lot of similarities, and there are a lot of differences as well. So
That show was
cool.
interesting to me because the slam dunk contest. I may be correct. I did the slam dunk and the 3-point, the entertainment intro.
Yep.
But one was for TNT and one was for ESPN.
Yep.
So I was intermixing one show that switched trucks
Right.
over a
Okay.
2-day span, using the same camera, same control room, same director.
Yep.
We used the control room inside of the building of the Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yep.
So I basically had to have 2 different drops pre-tested, pre-set up with both trucks.
Mm-hmm.
But one entity owned these cameras and one entity had these cameras. So when they wanted to use certain cameras,
Yeah.
well, one truck was down that day because the other truck was there. So they only had options to have so much. So
Yeah.
it was cool to see from an entertainment side how 2 different vendors work and 2 different shows work, 2 different entities work in a whole different world that I'm not used to.
Very true. Very true. All right. So, as I alluded to earlier, we're going to play some games in these next couple segments. This game is called Brews and Broadcast. So I want you to grab a fresh garage beer.
All right. Thank you, the Kelseys, again.
Yeah. Thank you, Kelsey's.
These are good.
Yeah, they're good, right?
Yeah, 4%. They're daytime beers.
Yeah. No, they're.
I think our
too.
engineer Cleveland might need one too. Come on, buddy. Hold on. The engineer might need one. Here, let me fix the pyramid too. Let's make it nice.
Make it nice. Yeah.
Shout out Garage Beer.
Thank you, Garage Beer. So this game is called Brews and Broadcast.
All right.
And the point of the game, it's a drinking game. It's who can finish their beer first.
Uh-oh.
So
I'm probably going to bet you're going to win, but let's hear it.
I'm a little under the weather. I'm probably not going to be able to chug very well right now. But I'm going to spin this wheel, right? Let's just give this an example. And it's going to land on moments listed on a daily schedule or rundown. So I have to list 3 things. And the time I list 3 things, you're drinking your beer, right?
Okay.
And then once I list those 3 things, you stop drinking and then we switch.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Fair.
So
I got to list 3 when I'm done drinking.
so I'll go first. I'll spin it right now. And it is all right. Positions that work outside the truck. Ready? 3, 2, 1, chug. All right. How about an A2? How about a fiber tech? How about a camera operator?
Okay.
So now you spin.
That was good 3 positions. I respect all those positions, and they're all needed on the show. Different types of...
Parts of a camera buildup.
Easy. Zoom demand, focus
So,
demand.
no, you say 3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go. Zoom demand, focus demand, ped, sled.
I got a little on that one. All right.
This is a fun game.
Yeah, it's cool, huh? I came up with it on my own.
I like this.
All right. Things an A2 might touch.
Ooh, I'm horrible at this.
Ready, go. An IFB, a microphone, headset.
All 3 things. But I'm proud to be a video guy, and I respect audio guys. It's not my world.
All right, spin.
Let's do it. Different types of cable, my favorite.
No, you have to say 3, 2, 1, go. Ready?
3, 2, 1, go. Fiber, SMPTE, coax.
All right. All right. I'll go get. What? How did that? How is this a random thing?
Respin.
How is that a random generator? And we landed on the same one.
I like this.
What?
We got that one too.
How is this a random generator?
Man, I wish this was a roulette machine. We'd keep hitting the same number.
I know.
Ooh, good one.
Positions that
3, 2, 1.
A director, a TD, and a replay operator.
All great positions and well needed.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to
Read the question.
Oh, yeah.
Shows you've worked with the past year. Ooh, I just did the combo election.
Hold on. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Just did the combo election. Did Mass Singer the other day. And I did the Governor's Award the other day.
Oh, I'm almost there. All right. Garage, it's good.
Dude, it's great beer.
Yeah. All right. Names of companies and broadcasts. 3, 2, 1, go. TVU, VizRT, Ross.
Shout out to all of them.
Holley Video.
My man. I'm done.
Oh, you're done? You won the game.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Parker, I like this.
Thanks for playing, man. That was called Broadcast and Brews.
Next time we'll pull out 20 each.
Yeah, we'll bet.
Broadcast and Brews. Shout out Garage Beer. That was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. All right, so let's see where we go on our next segment here. Oh, the next segment is equipment review. So on every episode of the Behind the Broadcast podcast, I'm trying to do an equipment review, whether it's a technology or a physical device or something like that. We bring it on the podcast and we review it, we talk about it, and this, that, and the other. So on this episode, this is Zak Holley. Excuse me, Garage Beer's got me going again. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, shout out to Garage Beer. They're good. Here, I got you one.
So on every podcast episode, we are trying to do a review of a technology or a physical product. On this episode, we are reviewing Holley Video Consultation. Zach, what is Holley Video Consultation?
We are a boutique video distribution company. So I offer services from flight packs, recording, engineering services, fiber distribution, video distribution. I do a lot of remotes, live remotes, bringing talent in off site. I could control robo cameras, PTZ camera. I could send a robo camera to your house and control it from this hotel room.
Gotcha.
We are pretty much client driven. If there's a demand for something that's video based, we have a solution and we can get a solution. And between me and my resources, shout out Production Networking, shout out Apache Rental Group,
shout out
Bitfire Networks, one of my go-tos, like family between Apache and Bitfire, we could pretty much make anything happen for you, cloud driven or live driven.
So just give me a real quick example of maybe one of your last shows that Holley Video did.
Let's talk about something I've done cool this year.
Okay.
VMAs.
Okay.
VMAs. Second year we've done this. And shout out AVS, Aerial Video. You know AVS?
Yeah, very familiar with AVS. Love AVS.
I partner up with AVS on the VMAs, and we do 18 iPhones on a private network.
Wow.
That walk around from the red carpet to inside the venue to inside backstage, wherever there's a private network, Wi-Fi distro everywhere that these 18 iPhones are on.
Right.
And I'm taking these 18 iPhones live with 150 millisecond delay with audio and video. I could shoot them vertical. I could shoot them horizontal.
Wow.
And we're cutting to them as digital links. It's going to all of Viacom's digital entities.
Uh-huh.
And it's all IP driven.
Yeah.
And it's simple. I from this iPhone solution, I could pick any lens from your iPhone and bring it back to a truck live, which to a lot of people, they don't have a lot of solutions to bring you an iPhone to your truck live
right.
as a regular camera.
Right.
And so that's been a cool job I do. I do a lot of transmission. I did The American Idol coronation is one of my favorite things I've ever been able to show off with my technology.
Wow.
With what me and Bitfire did, I flew to the UK all by myself, one-man band. I had robo cameras on tripods with monitors mounted right beneath the robo cameras. And we sent return video to those monitors and controlled those robo cameras from Red Studios with Pacifico Engineering. And had full control in real time from Los Angeles to the UK. And we shot a live show of American Idol live on television in America.
Yeah.
And I had 2 different cameras, 2 different returns. And I had planned on... when the show was planned and built and shipped and I went out there, the whole plan was Lionel Richie and Katy Perry were just going to be inside of the Windsor Castle and take 3 live video hits.
Wow, yeah.
Right? So I have IFBs for them, mics, the whole 9. Bitfire and me came up with a great solution, and the final hour, like 2 hours before my call time.
Yeah.
I'm in the UK. I'm by myself. I don't have many resources. I don't know many people in England.
Yeah.
They're like, Lionel Richie pulled some strings, and the King and the Queen are gonna come now.
Holy crap.
So now I'm like, okay, great. But I'm all set up with an IFB and a lav mic for Lionel and Katie.
Yeah.
How are we gonna mic the King and the Queen?
Yeah.
And then now I need to embed this in my video, and I'm doing transmission, setting up robo cameras, setting up the return video,
right,
and embedding audio, de-embedding audio. That's a whole remote solution for talent. That's a lot of companies don't offer this kind of solution.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, now I need another mic to get the King and the Queen.
Yeah.
I'm not an audio guy. And anyone who knows me knows Zach does not do audio.
Video.
I'm a video guy. I do monitors. Yeah. I'll get you video any way you want.
Same way, yeah.
I pulled a couple strings. I pulled a couple strings with some people I know, and the BBC was doing this big coronation thing outside the Windsor Castle. I was able to get myself a boom mic, a little boom mic, right, with an XLR out, right. So I wired it into my 381. I had a little 381 box. I wired it into it. And there's a great picture that they took of me. And I'm in a full suit and tie, all by myself,
booming,
doing 4 different jobs with a boom right over the King and the Queen with Lionel Richie and Katy Perry taking live hits. And I'm so nervous. I'm shaking this boom. I can't hold it up straight. It was like, I'll never forget that. To me, like,
so that's just kind of an example of what you're going to get with Holley Video. He's going all out.
But
he
we
really
make stuff happen.
Yeah, you make stuff happen. That's what I was getting to. Yeah, you're going to do what it takes.
Like it don't matter what it plans. There's always some anomaly or who knows what. We're doing live entertainment. We're doing live events.
Yeah.
Like you can plan for as much as you want.
You never know.
Like I did the Astro World.
Well, that's what
you couldn't even plan for that Astro World.
Hold on, before that was actually. I was going to conclude this segment with. That is Holley Video Consultations.
I just went to New Utility. That was the Holley Video.
No. But you were saying like what Holley Video can do.
Yes, like we make TV. Whenever, do you know what I always say about what we do about work?
Huh?
Like, what do? We make magic.
Yeah, we make magic.
Give me a piece of paper and a couple cables, and between me and all the guys we know, somehow, some way. You'll never hear about a show that we work on that doesn't make air, that has a problem, that takes a camera hit on air or a prompter goes down. The way we build shows and the way we do backups and the way we plan for every situation that could or couldn't happen.
Yeah.
We're ready for that.
Yeah. That's great,
man. We put out fires.
That's great, man. So if this is something that you are interested in and you think maybe you're listening or you're watching and you want to share to someone that you think Holley Video Consultations can bring to your production, Zach, tell them where that you can find the information.
If you have a live event that you need IP transmission, if you have a live remote that you need talent brought in off site, if you have a show that you want switched and recorded and cut live, if you need a full in-house team provided between engineering, utilities, operators, I mean, I pretty much have the resources and the manpower, female power, operator power, and and pretty much we'll make stuff happen. Like we're here to help.
We
Like,
make it happen.
I always tell someone like I don't work for you. I'm here to help you.
Yeah, girl, great. That's great advice right there. Yeah, we make it happen. That's TV. We make it happen.
We don't have a second chance. We're live on air. Like there's no like, oh whoops. Like we are live on air.
Yeah, live and adapt. All right, so you kind of started talking about Astroworld, and now I'm really interested.
I was joking, but yeah, I did do the Astroworld.
What was
Holley Video did not do the Astroworld, but I did work the Astroworld.
And what was working something like Astroworld like? Because that is like, I've seen videos on Instagram.
You want to know something?
The internet.
I don't do concerts. It's like,
okay.
That was actually like my first giant music festival I've ever worked on. I do award shows and I do studio style dance and singing game competition shows. There used to be talk shows. They all went away. I did the Astroworld. It was the first big concert festival I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I don't know the actual stats on how many people were there. At minimum 50,000, maybe more.
If you don't know what Astroworld is, real quick, it's Travis Scott's concert.
Yeah.
But it's really just like an absolute rally rage of just insanity.
Yeah, so it was like a last minute thing. It was fly out there, do the show. We rehearsed it. We couldn't even get the whole stage set up because they were so behind on the setup that like we I think we came in and showed it and finally got all the interconnects done.
Dang.
But I'll never forget. The lights went down
and shit started breaking.
I was at front of house. It was all like blocked off and guarded, and it wasn't production fault. It wasn't anyone we work with fault.
Yeah.
But it was an out of hand concert with too many people and no crowd control.
Yeah.
But like for someone that doesn't work concerts, and I don't go to stuff like that. Like I don't like,
controlled environments.
Like it's like most of us. Like the amount of sports you work, you get to go to enough sports to you're probably on your free time. You're not planning a sporting day.
Right. Yeah.
We do enough events. Like I wouldn't have ever been like, I'm going to fly to a music concert. So like festival like this. So I went and I'm like, whoa, I'll never forget. I was just stuck at front of house till the show was over and they got everyone out and they're like, all right, you're good to go back to the truck now and start striking cable. And we got out of there. But I've never been to a place that had so many people and so congested. And it's unfortunate what happened there and all this stuff. Ooh, I don't think it was broadcast related. I think there was you can't control that many people.
I've seen videos of Travis Scott just kicking lights over and shit. Like
I throw that there comes
crazy.
A point where there's too many people, you can't control it. It doesn't matter your resources.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
But that's probably like one show I've done that's I'll never forget that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But like favorite shows, you want to say my favorite show?
Oh, what is your favorite show?
Favorite show I've ever done? I'll never forget this. I got a phone call. Sean Woodside called me. It was like lunchtime. And at the time, I'm just a kid.
Yeah.
I'm scraping the SOS stickers off of cases. And I'm cleaning Aja high fives, making sure they work. And I'm faxing Fidos, making sure they work for another show. And Sean calls me. He's all, hey, go home, pack your bag right now. I'm all, what's up? He's all, you're going to go to Hawaii. They added a guy. I need your help. It's just, they don't got your ticket yet. But like, go home, pack a bag, and just plan on you're going to be in LAX and they'll give you a flight. So I go home, I pack my bag, and I've never been to Hawaii, right? I've never been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I flew to Hawaii. I landed there at like 4 a.m. I had an 8 a.m. call time, and it was a concert hosted by The Rock. There was just comedians and like the coolest bands and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
For all the troops and their family on the Pearl Harbor base, on the tarmac, like where Pearl Harbor happened.
That's really cool.
So like whenever I think of a cool show, I was like, those don't happen. That's just like a one-off event that doesn't happen.
And that's what I was going to say. It's intimate. And it's a one-off event. And like, there's not tons of distraction. There's not network money involved. It's just like, just very intimate. And
it was total surprise. And I was a kid and I was young and I was just like, they're throwing me on a plane, Mom. I'm going to go home, pack a bag, and I got to go to Hawaii. I'll call you and I'll make sure I land, I'm safe.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get there I am on Pearl Harbor and it's like, they have all the planes lined out on the tarmac and the bitchin' stage. And it was like, I just remember it was all these comedians, all these bands, and it was just the only audience was military, active serving military and their family.
That's cool.
And to me that show is probably one of my favorites.
That's really cool.
I want to, Cleveland. You remember the name of that show? No. It was I wish I knew the name of that show. It was someone will put it in the comments. It was a sweet show.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so this is going to bring us to our last segment. Wish I had a better name for it, but it's this or that. And we'll start with, I'll ask you the question, we can go into it, but it's this or that. Working a union show versus a non-union show.
It depends on the climate, depends where you are in the nation, it depends where you're. I'll say this. It's hard for me to say that because I live in LA.
Yeah.
It's a union-based town. The shows, my clientele are union-based clients. So if I have a non-union show, I'm generally looking for an extra 20% of my rate to pay into my health and welfare and my retirement.
Right.
Because my union offers that and they're not.
And I think that's totally fair. I think that's really cool that you set those standards because you are a union guy. And that's why I think the Hollywood union, LA union,
and the New York guys, I'll say.
New York guys.
I'll shout out all my guys in New York,
Yes.
Jim Washburn, Mike Moran, Benedetti.
I think that's why they are so coveted. Because they do hold those high standards.
You set the standards and you set the bar and you set the bar high. Now, do I think that there's tons of people that aren't in the union that need to work and they need experience, and there's a lot of different budget, really? I'm not going to say cheap or overpaid or this and that. There's different budgets for all kinds of work. Now, the shows you may work on, the shows I may work on, they're different.
Yeah. No, very true.
And I just think once you kind of figure out where you are, stick with it and hold yourself to that standard and make yourself available for the people that appreciate what you do and what your worth is.
Oh, damn, that was good. That deserves a cheers right there. That was good. All right. Next question. A fly pack or a truck production?
Can't compare.
Can't compare.
Nope. I would, in any given situation, if you were doing a real, full-fledged, top-tier, multi-camera, live show, I would, if I was a producer and if it was my money and if it's my show, you call Kevin Hayes and you call Shawnee and you bring in Denali and you bring in NEP and you bring in the best of the best engineers and you do it the right way. Now, are there small little hole-in-the-wall jobs and corporate events and small venues you can't park trucks? And there's a place for small fly packs. That's where, like, I would never say, like, I'm not... Holley Videos, I'm a yes man. I'm not a put in a corner.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm ever going to compete with a truck or want to compete with a truck or want to compete with Bexel or any of those people.
Yeah.
But there's a niche for everything. If you're going to do a real show, a stadium-based show, a tour-based show, a high-budgeted, multi-camera, live, multi-week show, I hate to say it, Denali is the best of the best.
If you don't know what Denali is one of the NEP fleets, or one of the truck fleets of NEP.
They're the truck fleets of NEP that do the entertainment.
Yeah.
And they have my favorite engineers that I get to work with. Like, I'm blessed to. I say we're spoiled.
Yeah, you are. You guys are spoiled.
We're spoiled.
Let's not say
we're
you're spoiled.
Like, we get
spoiled.
to work with the best engineers, the best trucks. Like Richie at All Mobile. When I see Richie at All Mobile and I see Richie's name on a show, I know I'm in great hands.
Yeah.
When I see Matt Hirsch go, when I see Chris Lee, when I see Pete Underwood on an NEP Denali show. Oh, dude, I know I'm doing, like, this is a big show. They brought in the big guns.
Yeah. Oh, very true.
like Chris Dahlstrom. Like, there's a lot. My job is only as easy as the truck and the engineer and the resources that we have. So, like, when you have a good truck,
yeah. Oh, for sure.
And you have a good engineer and you have a good tech manager.
Oh yeah, I love the engineers that we work with on Monday night. Tim Macy, awesome dude. But yeah, they make your life so much simpler.
And you gotta respect, like, everyone brings so much to the table. We can't do what we do without all of what they do.
Yeah.
And like shout out to all of the good truck engineers in this company, in this whole country. Game Creek, All Mobile, NEP.
Yeah.
I mean, what you guys pull off, and the amount of live TV that gets done with the fleet that you guys have, it's amazing.
And there's some really good truck companies overseas as well. Media Pro. I think is one of
Globally,
them.
what we do is cool.
It is cool. Yeah. And I think that's why the page has like resonated with so many people globally. It's because TV is everywhere. And we're all trying to do the same thing in different parts of the country. Maybe we have more access to different technologies and things like that, but we're all trying to accomplish the same goal.
And that's why I really respect your page, because it shows off in every different aspect. I see little OB trucks in Europe to small little fly packs in South America to full replay rugby games. All like the amount of different ways you show off broadcast.
Yeah.
Like, you should be proud of what you built.
Thank you. That deserves
Like,
it.
seriously, you should be proud of what you built.
I appreciate that. I really do.
And the people that send in all the stuff to you, like, your brand is only as good as all of the people that we work with that are proud of what they do, that literally say, hey, check this out. Behind the broadcast. Here's what behind the broadcast.
Yeah, totally. No, I'm only as good as the network, right?
And that's, I like the audience. That's where it's the targeted audience, and how you showcase everyone that we get to work with, and how everyone has a different job, from the EVS operator to the director to the camera techs to the A2s. There's so many different positions in television and live television, and there's nowhere where you can see the behind the scenes like what you have.
I do. I really appreciate that. So I think that kind of wraps up our show, man. I really appreciate you, Zak Holley, for making some time for me, dude. This was awesome. We're in LA right now in my hotel room. Like you said, we make it happen.
Parker, I hope to work on a show with you one day. It's funny that there's all this and we haven't got to work with each other on a show. And I hope after all this, there's a show that I'm all running SMPTE and cable and striking with you one day.
Heck yeah, brother. All right. Appreciate that. So, guys, thank you for listening. We're going to keep coming out with these podcasts. We're going to keep interviewing specialists in the industry and keep dropping knowledge, because that's what we want to do. We want to knowledge share. We're not here to gatekeep. So please keep tuning in. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support.